Hello, hello. It's Jennifer Gilman here, and you are in for a treat. So, we have Shannon Lipan on. Now, she is a facilitator of Expressive Arts, and I don't know if you've heard of her before. She owns the Wonder Studio. She's going to tell you a little bit more about herself, but this is probably the last time you're going to get to see this and experience this complimentary, you guys. So, she does workshops regularly, and there's a fee attached to that per person because she is so phenomenal and what she's really doing for people. Because when we unlock the creativity, then you can do just about anything in life. Bringing in creativity, you feel this power, this courage, this like I can do anything kind of thing. And that's been my experience with working with her. And then also anything else to do with creativity. I just feel like empowered, and so that everything in life ends up seeming to be a little bit easier. Now we're using the essential oils with this, so I'll be piping in a little bit here and there as Shannon calls on me, and I'll introduce you to different oil specifically for the task that she's going to have you do at that time. This is a workshop style, all right? And what a beautiful thing to engage all of your senses, including aroma, right? What a full experience. So what I'd like to do is I'll introduce myself real quick. I'm Jennifer Gilman. I own the Herbal Cabinet, and I work with people through holistic health coaching, essential oils, and I teach classes like this. So I'm just really pleased to be here. Now I just want to make sure that you know where your chat box is. So on the bottom of your screen, just go ahead, open the chat box, tell us where you're coming in from, tell us where you're calling from and joining us if you can, and that way we know that you understand where to find the chat box. So I'm going to quickly send a message here. I'm currently at my Airbnb up in Murphy, North Carolina, and it's called Forest Therapy. So that's where I am, but I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. So let's see, you guys go ahead and type in Murphy, North Carolina. All right, Patty's in Miami. Great. Shaylin, I'm in St. Petersburg. Awesome. So just so we know you can find it. Shannon's from St. Pete. All right. And Rita's probably working on her message right now. Yep, St. Pete. Woo, we got all of you. Awesome. All right, so make sure you grab your water. Hopefully you've got some water nearby. And before I introduce Shannon, I just want to make sure we stay well hydrated, because anytime you're working on something workshop style or really diving in and opening things up, we want to have some of the either lemon or wild orange. So here's the lemon essential oil. Of course, we're only using doTERRA, and this oil, the doTERRA, allows you to actually use it internally. And it's just the best quality brand out there. So it even has the supplement fact panel on the back of the bottle. And it says under there, take 1 drop in 4 ounces of water. Whereas other essential oils you cannot ingest. So know that this is very pure. Wild orange is another one that's great in water. And those two have really good cleansing benefits, all right? Yum. I also made some tea, you guys. I put some lemon in my tea too. So you'll see me, I'm like ready to go. I'm hydrated. So without further ado, I want to pass it over to Shannon, and I can't wait to have you guide us through this process.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. I am very excited to be here again for this wonderful collaboration. So hopefully you guys have seen the preparation list and have some of these items. For this, it's great if you have a set of watercolors or oil pastels. This is a more expressive art. But if all you have are crayons or a pen or a marker, that is fine too. Yep, Sharpies are great. Actually, you could spray those with a little alcohol and that's fun too. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to move on to the next page where I talk about who am I? So is everyone able to see the screen okay that I'm sharing? Okay, thank you. So I am an expressive arts facilitator, and many folks may not have heard of expressive arts, but expressive arts are used in a variety of different ways. The way I am using expressive arts is I like to gather folks in groups in person, but now I'm learning how to do it on Zoom as well, which has just so many great possibilities. And what we do, and I actually work with a co-facilitator many times, and as well as on my own, but we're just introducing creative practices for people to really integrate their body, mind, spirit. And we use a variety of techniques, visual arts, of course, but also movement, journaling, poems. And one of my favorite pieces of expressive arts is the ritual and sort of sacred ceremony part of it. That's what I set up when we do it in person. People come in and we have a circle, and it's sort of along the lines of a wisdom circle, if that makes sense, if that can give you a visualization of what it might feel like. So my training is with Expressive Arts Florida Institute in Sarasota, and I've been so lucky to take part in all their trainings during 2020, when we really couldn't do many things in person. I was able to do it online. So I also own the Wonder Studio, which is an art and science studio for people of all ages. It's mostly been for young children for many years, but as I said, now I'm opening up to doing more expressive arts with people of all ages. So there's just a long list of many of the different projects that I've worked on through the years and things I'm proud of. So let's move on. Oh, there you go. I just have to show pictures of cute kids because this is what I get to do every day. This is kind of my day job. So it's just such a wonderful place. And here's what we're doing today. And I think it's helpful for you guys to have just a picture of what the process is going to look like. And I know I always appreciate that when I'm doing a workshop. So, and sometimes it's like you take a screenshot so you can kind of understand what part of the process that we're in. So I wanted to start with sort of our guidelines and safety. So what we are doing can, because it's new to most people, sometimes it might feel uncomfortable. And I just like to say that that is okay if you feel a little uncomfortable. As you can see, we have that center zone, the comfort zone. But when we step out into the orange zone, that's where we can actually learn something new. And I always say that's where we can transform and really start to feel a sense of wholeness. So we're in our comfort zone, and right now I might be starting to ask you to just get into that learning zone. But if you feel like you're going too far, I wish it didn't say panic zone, but if it just sort of a too much zone, this is too much, and you might be starting to touch that, like what's the word, zone out, then just go back to your comfort zone. And sometimes I say there's a source of strength that might help you to go into the learning zone. For example, one of my source of strengths is a visual art piece that I did a few years ago that I keep next to me. And this can just remind me that I'm safe, I'm okay, and this is a safe space. Does anyone have any questions? I feel like I'm going really fast.
I think you're doing great. Thank you. I think it's good to warn people, but at the same point, if they're not comfortable, exactly what you said, they can, you'll guide them of what to do. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, good, good. So I thought just to begin, so with expressive arts, we're kind of going into our right brain. So we have to use our imaginative realm to begin to just allow ourselves to relax enough to go into our creative side. So I've chosen some expressive arts techniques that will help us sort of, that's the name of the class, unlock your creativity. So this is our check-in that we'll begin with. And I think before I describe what we're going to do, we'll let Jennifer pair it with the essential oil.
I love this because I get to pair it. It's like wine pairing, except not, right?
Yeah.
I chose the balance blend, and this was something that Shannon and I discovered together. Is like, this is such a beautiful blend to begin this work. And those of you who don't know the balance blend, it's a grounding blend. It's full of a lot of tree oils, and it comes together as a blend. So you've got like spruce in there, and you think about a tall tree and how it stands, and the roots grow deep. And that's how and why we decided to use this is let's begin by getting grounded so that we really get roots back in the ground and we can really open ourselves up to the experience that's about to happen. So the way I like to use this in this case is you just open the bottle, and now you can either put a little bit on your wrist just by dabbing, even just like little dabbing and going like this and smelling it from your wrist, or dispensing a drop of oil. Ooh, that's getting low, man. I need to open up the bottle. Rubbing that together in your hands and taking a few nice deep breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. And then after a few deep breaths, just applying that to the back of the neck and the shoulders and even over the heart. And now we're ready for you, Shannon.
Ooh. This is the oil that everybody tells me I smell good with. Okay, so great. So does everyone have something from nature that they can maybe just hold up? This is what I brought today. Oh, I just love to see what people choose. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So what I want you to do is just take in, oh, and I should say, even though I have the directions here, try not to jump ahead of what I'm saying. So that way we can be in the moment together. And it's helpful for me to have it all written out so I'm not shuffling papers, but just sort of try to stay with me in the process. So when you look at your nature item, just really allow yourself to take it in, noticing some details. And right now, we're just noticing really descriptive sort of details. Just describe it and don't go further than that. So just maybe write down 3 description words about your nature piece. The second part that I would like you to do is looking at your nature item. Just think about, how is it like me, or how am I like it? And again, just perhaps thinking of 3 ways that it is like you or how you are like it. And our last part is, what is the message from this nature being almost? If it could talk to me and send a message or teach me something, what would it say? And before we go to the link that I will post in the chat, I I sometimes find it helpful to underline or circle the words that just pop out at you. So if you take your list of all the descriptive words, the how is it like me, the message, and just underline or circle the words that just really pop out at you. And what I'm going to do is put this link. Let's see if I can put it in the chat. And if you guys see if you can click on that and just start typing in some of those messages or underlined words. And I'm going to go to it too. Let's see if how this works for me. I'll refresh that one more time. So I will just read these. Beautifully imperfect, eternal, float, curvy, smooth, unique, comfortable, gentle, expansive, connected, soft, light. Beautiful, guys. Just beautiful. Let's see if I can get us back here. I wonder, let me stop that. Oh, there we go. So remember that the nature item or any object, this is a wonderful tool to start getting into your right brain, and getting into creativity is just getting into your imagination. So we're going to go into setting intention, and I know we have some possibilities for oils with that.
Absolutely. So we chose two to talk about, and one of them is clary sage, the other one is bergamot. So I have a little bit of clary sage with me. Some of you have seen these cute little bottles. I can barely hold it. It's like a 5/8 dram. So when I take the lid off of it, I have to tap it into my hand. Okay, so that's the clary sage I have with me today. But if you have the clary sage, you can drop it into your hand or put it in a diffuser. So I actually have in my diffuser over there, I already put the clary sage in there with the bergamot. What clary sage does is when you diffuse it or have it aromatically, it will start to open up that part of the brain for creativity. It is the oil of creativity when it comes to emotional well-being, okay? Physically, it does other things with hormones and everything, but emotionally, it is the oil of creativity. So it's that help unlocking, all right? Now, bergamot acts very different, all right? Here's the bergamot, and I love, this is one of my favorites. Now, this one, besides in my diffuser right now, I had already put it on my solar plexus. Now, the solar plexus chakra is just above the belly button, but below the breastbone, okay? So if you just take a drop of this in your hand and then rub it above the belly button area, you've got it over your solar plexus. Bergamot is the oil of self-acceptance and confidence. It is the, like, you are now accepting yourself and it's helping you. And this helps to get into this next stage that Shannon's going to guide us into.
Okay, thank you. I put on the bergamot. I have clary calm, but not clary sage. Is clary calm is different, correct?
There is clary sage in that, so that's fine, but it also has 10 other plants in there. So if you only have clary calm, you can definitely use that. It's a beautiful oil, especially for women. But I know, I just love, I like to just smell the bergamot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives me like just a sense of I'm good. I'm good. You know, I'm happy. It's
Right.
oh, it is self-acceptance.
So we're going to begin with setting an intention. And so what I'd like for you guys to do is just sort of get in a comfy spot if you're not already, and just make sure, if you can, that your back is sort of upright, your shoulders are back, and your I always just drop my hands again, just on my legs. Feet on the ground if possible. And just getting in touch with our breath. And just starting to relax. And I find often in my morning meditation, I'll even say the word relax, just relaxing. I don't have to do anything. I just am here. I'm just in the moment. Just breathing, relaxing, listening to the sounds that are in your space, listening to the sound of my voice, taking in the aroma of the oil that you just used, and just coming into your body. And what sort of awareness comes into your body? Is there a certain part of your body that you can feel more than others? And just breathing, it's just information. And when you think about what happens when I say melting and growing, and don't think, actually, just feel. Feel into your body. Is there a particular place in your body where melting and growing feels important? And we're just breathing. Don't have to do anything, just we're just letting these questions sort of percolate. Just melting and growing. And just allowing your body, felt sense, your inner wisdom, guiding you towards an intention. And when you're ready, just take a piece of paper that you have nearby and write down an intention. If you need to go back to that felt sense in your body, go back there and work from there with your intention. An intention can be very, very simple, or it can be more focused. For example, if you have a particular issue that came up for you just then, and maybe it wasn't what you thought it would be, but you know what I'm talking about. And if that came up, you can just write something that you want to work with that particular issue or that feeling in your body, something to do with the melting and growing. And I'll be quiet for just a moment while we write that intention down. And let's just take another 20 seconds or so to just bring that intention writing to a close. Okay, let's move on. You can put your intention or keep it close to you, just in case you need it to remind yourself. So the next part we're going into is our melting and growing movement. And before we go into that, or my talking about it, we'll let Jennifer offer another oil
So we
or
decided
two.
we decided to actually choose a roller here from the kids collection, and it's called Brave. It's wonderful to introduce kids as well as adults into this particular oil because, we don't often talk about emotions with kids.
Jennifer, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. Shannon, can you hear me?
Shannon?
I think Shannon, can you hear? Okay, so it looks like you guys can hear me, but Shannon cannot, right? Shannon, are you there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Sorry about that.
that's
Was
okay. I think they were able to hear me, but for some reason it was, yeah. So I
okay.
chose the Brave Roller Blend from the kids collection. It comes in a roller, and that's really great because it's meant to give courage. It's a blend that has several different oils in it to give the courage. So the way I like to use this one as a roller is actually rolling it up and down the inside of my forearms, okay? And that way, as you're doing whatever you're doing, you constantly smell it, right? Whether you're an adult, a kid, if you just put it on the insides of your forearms and wrists, you have it around you at all times. You could also put this over the heart, all right? So that's another good spot to just be, when you think about when you don't feel very courageous, you typically are sitting almost like this. Your posture is different. You kind of shrink, right? We want to open the chest up and be brave and have courage to move forward. So that's why we look at putting it over the heart or the midline area. I love this. It's just, it's mixed with fractionated coconut oil already, so there's no skin sensitivity. And it is a great oil to introduce at a young age to help kids understand their feelings better and to help them move forward too. So
I love that one. So let me go back into our screen share. There we go. And everyone can hear me okay? Hopefully my internet doesn't blink again.
Yes.
So going into our melting and growing. So this is such a wonderful experience, melting and growing. It is somewhat, it's for everyone in that you can melt and grow by standing up and making the movement of melting and then growing. If you're physically feeling limited, you can find other ways to melt and grow. For example, you could just use your hands to melt and grow. So just please take into account your comfort level with your body and your energy level as well. And this process can begin to feel a little repetitive because I'm going to play the music and we're going to melt and grow for about 5 minutes. And it's just what it says. What is this melting? What is this movement make me want to do? And then the going into growing. So it's that contracting and then expanding. and paying attention to your body, and we're trying to not think so much, just getting into that repetitive movement to where you don't have to think, oh, if you were dancing, you would have to consider, well, where am I going to move next? This sort of thing. So with melting and growing, we're just doing the same movement. But if you want to tweak it, that's fine too. So we will go into that. I have some music that I chose. And let's see. Hopefully that comes through. So get in your spot where you're going to do your melting and growing. I'm going to put my camera where my cat currently is laying down. But it's great if you can turn your camera on, because it's a great source of strength for us to have this experience together. In that when you are moving together, of course, you're in your own process, but when you can glance over and see others, then it is just affirming and that we're in this together. If that pits you in the zone that you don't want to go into that we talked about with the levels, that's fine. But I'm here as your facilitator to sort of push you to consider joining in, even for a little while, and then shutting your camera off. So just experimenting with your own comfort level. This is a great way just to see, okay, creatively speaking, does this help me to join in with others, or, or not? So just experimenting. Let me see if this link works. Oh, perfect. Can you guys hear that? Can you let me know if you can hear it if I mute myself? I don't know if that'll.
No, you have to leave it unmuted.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll spend about 5 minutes on this. That always goes by so fast for me. Okay, let's see. Yeah, take a moment. Oh, hmm. Let's see. Let me figure out how to get back to. Second. Aha. I think now I can get there. So, what you guys are going to do next is go into your visual art process. So, if you have your paper right there and your art materials, just take a moment to breathe after the melting and growing and sort of go into that body felt sense that we were in earlier when we were setting our intention. And that's where we want to come from with our visual art. And just allowing yourself to look at your blank page, mine, and take in your art materials and begin to just let your hand choose. Try not to think about it, just allowing that body felt sense to begin to make movement onto the paper as we did with melting and growing. So I'll let you guys do that, and I'm going to share basically what I just said on screen, but I'm going to mute myself for a few minutes so we can just really get into the visual art process. Does anyone have any questions? I don't like to rush anyone, but I just want to say take another minute or two. I have to say, in a typical expressive arts class, we would spend a much longer time on our art piece. But this class is just to give you a sort of feel for the flow of what an expressive arts experience would be like. So keep working on your visual piece if you would like. If you're ready to move on to the creative writing piece, I'm just going to go to that next slide, but don't feel like you have to rush into this. You can spend another minute on your visual art if you would like. But when you're ready, you're going to dialogue with your image. So what that means is just take a moment to sit with your image. In expressive arts, we often say that our images are guests that have come to visit us. Now, if a guest came to your house, you would most likely treat that guest with kindness, right? And that's what we want to do with our images. So I always like to say thank you. I never know what's going to happen when I come into a visual art piece, as well as movement or anything. So as we would welcome a guest, just welcome this image that has come from you, but it's here to perhaps offer you a message. So if you're comfortable, just sort of allow yourself to almost step into your image and sort of take a walk around, take a look around, noticing those details as we did when we looked at our nature piece and we first noticed just the details. And then we started allowing it to speak more from an imaginal realm. So if you're able to do that with your visual art, work with that, and then you can go into a creative writing process of using the writing prompts. I am letting go of, I am growing into, I am becoming. If these prompts don't resonate with you, you can take them or leave them. Work with what comes to you and that body felt sense. So each time, if you feel that you're starting to get too much into your head or thinking, we can easily just come back to the body and that felt sense and grounding yourself and then working with the imagery again. So we'll just, because we're running short on time, we'll just take a couple minutes to do the writing piece. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to my favorite part is the witnessing. And I know we're just going a little bit over time. I I really like to stay on time, so I apologize for that. I do think the witnessing is one of the most important pieces of expressive arts. So if there was anyone that felt called to show your art piece, I'll show mine. It might be drippy. We'll see. And actually, I'm going to hold it like that. Oh, beautiful. Jennifer's showing hers too. Is there anyone else that would like to just Jennifer, keep holding yours up. Oh, yes. Is there anyone else that would like to join us in just sharing their visual art? And it's okay if you don't, but the witnessing can be very powerful. Is there anyone that feels called to read what they wrote?
I'll read mine. I put, I am letting go of structure and lack of flexibility, and I'm growing into flow and spontaneity. I'm becoming relaxed, peaceful, and spontaneous, but intentional.
Thank you. Thank you. I will share mine. I said, I am letting go of what doesn't serve me. I am growing into beautiful collaborations. I am becoming part of a larger, more beautiful system. So before I move on, is anyone else feel called to share?
I will.
Okay, great.
I'm letting go of stress and being heavy. I'm growing into a relaxed, calming person. I'm becoming a beautiful, self-confident person.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay, so I think just this idea of now stepping out of the process that we were just in. And if you have time after we end this call to just really, I love what Marcus Scott Alexander says. He's an expressive arts teacher and facilitator. He says, name it, claim it, and then aim it. So if this process could help you name something that needed to melt and grow, claim that, and then aim your energies towards it. So I think, oh, and Jennifer, you wanted to say about anchor. I love that one too.
Yes. Yeah, I'll just close it out with, when we do work like this, we've got to close things out with certain practices. And with the essential oils, we want to use the anchor blend. It is part of the yoga collection, but you can buy it on its own. I have a little bottle of it with me because I keep it in my little keychain case. And to anchor it, you're actually going to put a drop or two in the palm of your hand. And now you're actually you can put it in the solar plexus, but I also want you to do the lower part of the back. It's called the sacrum, and it's right above the crack of your butt, guys. Okay. That's actually at the root chakra, and that's the way we
Oh,
can access it is the sacrum. So if you put this anchor blend on the sacrum, or you could do the solar plexus as well, now you're anchoring everything in that you just did, and you're ready to really go even further. And like tomorrow I know I'm going to look at this again and probably see some other things, that I didn't see today. So this was beautiful. Thank you, Shannon.
wonderful. And that's just what you should do is hang your art piece somewhere where you can see it, and it will continue to work on you. This whole process will. And I just want to say that if you want to contact me, you can, of course, go through Jennifer to get my information. And then if you're in St. Petersburg, we are doing live expressive arts class. That's myself and my partner, Sunny, who we are holding beautiful circles together. So you can find information on the Wonder Studio on Facebook is probably the easiest way to just sort of stay in touch.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to get some of the doTERRA oils, and what you're going to do is whoever invited you to watch this, go back to them and say, you know, Jen told me that I can get these at 25% off. So you can go back to the person who invited you. If you don't have anyone you're working with, reach out to Shannon or I, and we'd be happy to get that offer to you. Again, it's 25% off retail. So you're going to want to get them at the discount because that's a really big deal. So thank you. Any last words, Shannon?
Just so much gratitude to you, Jennifer, for having me. This is so fun to pair it with aroma. It's really fun for me. So
Love it.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm so glad that you did this for us. And I know this is the recording will be watched over and over and really help. This is doing this again and again, I'm able to go deeper myself. So my own experience is just wonderful. And if we could tap into our creativity more and more, we can just have that powerful, empowered feeling that we can deal with life. And sometimes it can get really hard. So thank
Yes.
you. And
Yes.
thank you for everyone joining us tonight. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and share this with others. Share this recording with others who you think would enjoy it. All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.